So earlier on today in Ballybofey, it finished an extraordinary game between Donegal and Monaghan, 120 to Donegal, 4-11 to Monaghan. Monaghan held a 9-point lead at one stage in the first half, and actually in the 43rd minute when Conor McManus got their fourth goal, they led by 6 points, but they couldn't see the game out. Donegal kicked the last 4 points, earned a share of the spoils. Aaron, it was a crazy game of football to say the least. It's definitely one that Monaghan will look back and think that was a missed opportunity to get a win.
They will. They will. They'll be bitterly disappointed with it. But I suppose, just from a neutral perspective, brilliant entertainment for the rest of us. And I suppose, given Monaghan's performance last weekend, it wasn't what we were expecting. So Seamus McEnany would have been watching from afar, but he would be very pleased in what he's seen, particularly from his younger players, to have the self-belief and the confidence to just take the game to Donegal, take them on in one-on-one situations, attack defenders in one-on-one positions, and create goal-scoring opportunities. And Conor McCarthy in particular was just outstanding. His movement inside, his awareness of everything around him, and his composure to finish those three first half goals was exceptional. But yeah, very, very entertaining game of football. And well, I suppose Monaghan, they can be happy enough with a point, given that later on it looked like Donegal, you say, kicking the last four scores were in the ascendancy and could potentially have went on to win it. But yeah, great afternoon's football. But to me, I sort of felt like Monaghan just ran out of steam. They'd put so much effort and played with so much, I suppose, abandon and pace and energy all over the field, particularly from Ryan McNesby and Carl O'Connell driving out from the defence. And I say the willingness of all the forwards to take on their opponents was brilliant to see. But I think ultimately that maybe that's just what cost them in the end, where Donegal managed to come so strong and peg them in.
Yeah, you mentioned like Monaghan probably run out legs as well. Like they did have to play a large proportion of the game with 14 men, with Conor Boyle getting the black card, and then not long after that in the first half he got sent off as well. But just the first half, the thing that I just couldn't get over it was just the ease in which every time a Monaghan player seemed to take on a Donegal defender, it just seemed to beat them at will and with ease. And I know Donegal are playing a little bit more of an expansive style of football, so they are a little bit more open the back compared to what they were under McGuinness and Gallagher. But just I've never seen a Donegal defence being opened up as so easy as that. Now, credit, they did manage to come back and draw in the second half, but Declan Bowen or Stephen Rochford have been doing a lot of head scratching tonight.
Yeah, like they conceded one more goal in the second half, and were very, very fortunate that Andrew Woods blazed one over the bar, and then Niall Cairns broke through, dinked the ball over Sean Patton's head and hit the crossbar. So it's not that they really tightened up massively defensively. It was just that they put Monaghan under more pressure coming out with the ball, got more turnovers, and they had far more energy up front in terms of creating and taking scoring opportunities. But yeah, you're right. Defensively, to be beaten so many times in one-on-one situations, it's a long time since we've seen it happening to a Donegal team. And I suppose as neutrals, they would have got a lot of stick for how they did play, particularly in the Jim McGuinness and Rory Gallagher times. You know, in terms of how many men they got back behind the ball and how hard they were to watch at times. But I think you asked any Donegal supporter tonight, what do they want, this free-flowing, expansive football, or would they rather be a bit more secure at the back? And I think I know what answer you get.
Yeah, one thing though they have to get credit for is their attacking play, especially in the second half. They kicked 10 points from playing that second half. They actually had a conversion rate of 10 out of 20, 10 out of 12 chances in the second half, 116 out of 120 from open play in general. Like a lot of people criticise Donegal without Michael Murphy, they don't really have leaders. But credit to the likes of Paddy McBurty and Kieran Thompson, who kicked great scores in the second half. They did stand up for them.
Yeah, and Oisin Gallen was the same. He chipped in with a couple of very good scores as well also. So yeah, I think maybe 121 that they finished up with in the end. And to do all of that there without Michael Murphy, again, is something that I don't think anyone would have foreseen, because he's so pivotal to how they play and the pace they play at and the opportunities that they create. So that's a massive positive from a Donegal perspective, albeit there's huge things to work on in terms of their defensive setup and their one-on-one tackling. But you're right, in terms of their attacking play, they definitely were very much on song. And whenever the game was really being put up to them, they easily could have, just let that game run away from them. But you said in the first half they go 9 points down. The second half, whenever Conor McManus kicked a wonderful free from just inside the 45, they were 7 points in it again. You were thinking that's game over, it's done and dusted. But Donegal just kept pegging away and pegging away, and they say could very well have got a win in the last few minutes. But it was it was an entertaining contest, and I would think just from an Ulster perspective after today, I think where we might have had two key front runners, now we look like we could have a very, very open Ulster championship, with even the likes of Derry now and the manner in which they're putting away teams, albeit in a lower division, but still the scores that they are racking up, it looks like we could have an even better Ulster championship ahead than what we've had this past number of years.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The last two Ulster championships have produced some fantastic football and great spectacles. Just kind of finally to touch up as well in this game, there was two sending offs. As we touched on, Conor Boyle was dismissed in the first half for Monaghan for a black card, and then for, I think was it a second black card was given, which obviously results in the red. And then we had Darragh O'Bweel, who was the substitute that came on for Michael Murphy, picked up a yellow card midway through the second half and picked up another one as well. What were your thoughts on the two sending offs? I kind of felt both of them were a little bit kind of harsh. I thought Boyle's first black card, was a bit soft, and I think O'Bweel's as well was a little bit kind of on the soft side too.
Fully agree with you. I think that Conor Boyle's first one, very, very hard black card to get. Second one, he'll be kicking himself. There was no need to make that their challenge. I know some people might try to argue that he couldn't get out of the way, but we all play Gaelic football. We all know what we're doing, and he just tried to leave a wee bit on the Donegal player coming through. And whenever you're on a black card, you cannot afford to do that there again. And ultimately, it left his team that had already been down to 14 men, that left them down, albeit for another half an hour to 14 men. And the extra energy that they had to expend during that time, you could definitely see it coming back to bite them. Darragh O'Bweel, his second yellow card to me was very, very harsh. Yes, it was a free, but did it warrant another yellow card? No, didn't for me. And just sometimes, just every time you give away a free, it doesn't necessarily have to be a yellow card, red card, or a black card. You can give away a free, just by a clumsy tackle, but it doesn't always have to merit a card. And maybe sometimes referees could just try and show a wee bit of leniency at certain times. But yeah, both teams could well have finished up with a complement of full 15 players today, and I don't think anyone would have any complaints.
Yeah, I get the feeling we'll be talking about a couple of more refereeing decisions even before we reach championship. Aaron, you're approaching nearly 6 hours now since you first stepped foot in the Athletic ground, so I'll let you go and get home and enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. But thanks for all that reaction this evening.
Not a problem. Cheers.